Most of these photos you've probably never seen before because society prefers not to remember them. So make sure to watch this video until the end. You'll definitely be surprised. Philippine Aborigines in an enclosure at the New York Zoo, 1905. Imprisoned homosexuals wearing women's dresses performing penal labor, Colorado, 1900s. This is a warning from a Ku Klux Klan member to African-American residents of a Miami neighborhood who were expected to participate in the elections, May 1939. This photo is a powerful symbol of the contradictions and complexities of American society. It shows a black police officer standing next to a Ku Klux Klan member, protecting him from an angry crowd that surrounded the Klan rally in Austin, Texas, 1983. A man selling mummies on the street in Cairo, Egypt, 1875. The hairstyle of this Victorian fashionista is adorned with a taxidermy cat, and the bodice of her dress is decorated with real cattails, 1883. These unique shots capture Berlin residents trying to save zoo animals amid the thunder of Soviet artillery. Germany, 1945. This stunning photo shows American cavalrymen of the early 20th century posing in front of one of the world's most famous trees, the giant sequoia, nicknamed the Grizzly Giant. This tree is located in the Mariposa Grove of Yosemite National Park and still exists today, standing as a living witness to centuries of history. USA, 1900. In China, a war was declared on sparrows, supposedly because they were eating all the crops. Mao Zedong launched the campaign in 1958. People eagerly carried out the directive. People stood on rooftops waving rags, because sparrows need to rest every 15 minutes. Exhausted, the birds would fall dead and be delivered to special collection points. Over 1 million sparrows were exterminated in just a few days, and within a few months, they had virtually disappeared from all over China. The following year, a devastating famine began. Caterpillars devoured the crops, and Chinese families struggled to feed themselves. New sparrows had to be imported from the US, SR, and the USA. Hoofprint boots used during the Prohibition era in the United States. Alcohol vendors wore this type of footwear, so they couldn't be tracked by regular shoe prints. This photograph is not just a party scene, it's a historic snapshot of the joy of an entire era. These men are celebrating the official end of Prohibition in the United States with cheers, laughter, and mugs in hand. December 5th, 1933, became a symbol of the end of one of the most controversial social experiments in American history. In 1931, the Bulu tribe in Cameroon heard about what was happening far away in America. They read in a newspaper that many people in the U.S. couldn't even afford food. The Great Depression had begun. They decided not to remain indifferent. Though the Bulu lived in poverty, they knew what hunger meant and chose to help. They created a relief fund and collected $3.77, a tiny sum, but it was all they had. The tribe surprised local missionaries by asking them to send the money to the United States to feed starving families. The missionaries were touched by their desire to help and sent the entire amount to New York. It's clear that the money couldn't feed even a single family, but the will to help was what truly mattered. In 1920, ideas of healthy habits were a bit different. Here, athletes casually share cigarettes during a Tour de France bike race. Cigarettes purchased from a hospital bed in the 1950s. This image resembles a scene from a dystopia more than historical reality. It is one of the most iconic photos depicting the Brazilian gold rush that erupted in the late 17th century and lasted until the early 19th. Hundreds, possibly thousands of people swarm up and down narrow stairways, zigzagging trails, and dangerous ledges of a colossal quarry. People, like beads of sweat on the earth's face, worn down by greed and the hunger for wealth. The gold rush overtook southeastern Brazil, particularly the state of Minas Gerais. Masses of poor people, slaves, fortune seekers, convicts, and even fallen nobility flooded the region, hoping to scoop up their share of treasure. But most found only suffering, disease, death, and oblivion. The photo shows a huge open pit mine, with no machinery, no safety, not even basic order. Only the thirst for gold and pure physical labor. Stones were carried out by hand. Men, women, and even children lugged bags and dug with wooden shovels and bare hands. Mortality was staggering. Every day someone fell, collapsed from exhaustion, or was crushed in a landslide. This isn't just a record of harsh labor. It's the embodiment of extreme human exploitation, a sacrifice on the altar of gold, and at the same time, a grim reminder of the price humanity is willing to pay for the Earth's riches. A former concentration camp prisoner selects glasses from a pile taken from inmates. 1945, Poland, Nazi concentration camp Auschwitz. 1890, Henry Freeman, a lifeboatman in Whitby, wearing a cork life jacket. He had tried to convince other lifeboatmen to wear cork life jackets, but no one else did. During a violent storm, disaster struck, and the lifeboat capsized. Only Henry survived, thanks to his cork life jacket. Shortly afterward, they became mandatory for all rescuers. This shot tells a story that seems like the plot of a movie, but it really happened. Pictured is Joyce McKinney, a former beauty queen and winner of the Miss Wyoming pageant in 1973 after her arrest. In 1977, she kidnapped Mormon missionary Kirk Anderson, handcuffed him, and had sex with him for 3 days. An American farmer demonstrates his vehicle powered by a goat running on a treadmill. The goat-mobile could reach speeds of up to 9 miles per hour. A spare goat rests on top. USA, 1,900. Supporters of alcohol prohibition. A group of young women hold signs condemning alcohol, part of the Prohibition movement in the United States, which was gaining momentum. These women believed that drunkenness destroyed families and moral values. USA, 1,919. This photo captures a dramatic and controversial moment in the history of the Northern Ireland conflict. A British soldier uses 2 small children as a shield while patrolling Belfast. 1970s. This photo shows a legendary moment in archaeological history. The intact seal on Tutankhamun's tomb, doors before it was opened in 1923. This rope with a clay seal symbolized that the tomb had remained undisturbed for over 3,000 years, since the reign of the 18th dynasty pharaoh. The seal bore symbols of authority, divine protection, and the name of the pharaoh guarding the gateway to the afterlife. These photos are a reminder that history isn't always pretty, but it's important to remember. If something surprised you, let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe so you don't miss more forgotten stories. This was Ilya on Photo Prints. See you next time.